right, so if you didn't do so well on 7.5C and 7.5A, so these two, you are using this video, okay, using similar shapes. So let's start with number 1. It says, a map is drawn with a scale of 1 inch to 15 miles. Nicole measured the distance to the next town as 3 inches. How many miles does she have to travel to get to the next town? So we don't know how many miles does she have to travel to get to the next town. Okay. And here it tells us a scale of 1 inch to 15 miles. Then it tells us that the next town, that she measured the distance to the next town as 3 inches. So she's looking at a map. Okay. So this is going to be a scale drawing problem. Sorry, not picture, but scale drawing problem. And remember, for scale drawing, we have model over actual equals scale over scale. Okay. So let's start with our scale, because it tells us the scale of 1 inch to 15 miles. So we have 1 inch to 15 miles. Okay. And then on this side, we're going to have model over actual, or you can just set it up according to units. So this is inches and this is miles. Okay, that's how we set it up. So you could use the big H for this, inches, miles, and we have 1 over 15, 1 inch equals 15 miles. This says the next town is 3 inches. So you're solving for, oops, sorry. You're solving for X, okay? So remember, you're going to cross multiply. So you're going to multiply 3 times 15 and 1 times X, or X times 1. And then you're going to finish solving that proportion. Okay, so solve for X. Alrighty, moving on to number 2. Right, if you still needed that, you can pause the video, rewind and pause the video to finish copying it. Okay, so it says, what is the length of BE? So we're looking at line, we want the length of BE. Okay, so BE is here. So to determine that, we first need to find our missing side. Okay, so let's look at this. BE is from here to here, but we have 2 triangles, right? So I'm going to redraw my triangles. So this will be my larger triangle, and this will be my smaller triangle. Okay. And then my larger triangle is A, B, G, and my smaller triangle is D, E, G. Okay. Why do I have 2 G's? Because these two share, or is this a G or a C? Oh, that might be a C. Let me fix that. I think that's a C. Makes more sense for it to be a C. Let's just see. So I know in the past I've been asked, why do we have 2 C's? Well, because if you look, they share this vertices. They share this point. The 2 triangles share that point. Okay. And on triangle DEC, right, I have that EC is 8 inches and DE is 6 inches. Okay. So now let's look at triangle ABC. Okay. So triangle ABC tells me AB is 9 inches. Do I know how long BC is? No, I don't, because BC is from here to here. And 9 is, or sorry, 8 is only from here to here. So I need to know how long BC is before I can figure out how long BE is. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and set up our proportion. And I'm going to set it up with it, comparing them uh, between the two. So my first ratio is going to be 6/8 because I'm comparing between the two um, shapes. So I'm putting one side, I'm forming a ratio with 1 on one side and the ratio for the other one on the other side. Okay, so now I have 9/x. 9 is going to correspond with which side on my smaller triangle. If you said DE, that is correct. Okay, so remember, the corresponding sides have to be in the same position. So you see how this one is my straight vertical line. Okay, this is a straight vertical line. So then those are my two corresponding sides. So I'm gonna have 9. And then X, which is BC, would correspond with EC because those two are my corresponding sides. They are in the same position. They are both my straight horizontal line. Okay, so go back to put. So if you look vertically, my proportion corresponds because they're from the same shape. Okay, and then vertically vertically they correspond because it's on the same shape. Horizontally they correspond because they are corresponding shapes. Okay, sorry, corresponding sides, not shapes. So let's try this again. Vertically they align because they're from the same shape. So these two are from my small triangle. The 6 and the 8 come from my small triangle. Horizontally or across, they correspond because they are corresponding sides. You look, they're both my vertical straight lines from my two triangles. Okay, so on my left hand side, I have my small triangle, and on my right hand side, I have my big triangle. So now I can cross multiply and solve. So you're going to have 6 times x and 8 times 9. Finish solving that out, and you should have your answer. Also, make sure you pause after each problem, finish solving that problem out, and then go on to the next one. Okay, you don't want to go through the whole video copying everything and then you run out of time and don't have time to solve any of the problems, because you will not get credit for it. Okay, you will not get credit for just copying what's on the video. You need to make sure you uh, actually solve the problems so you can get credit. Okay, all right, moving on to number 3. Let me scroll up. Okay, so number 3 says ABC and DBE. What is the value of DA? So triangle ABC and DBE, sorry, triangle ABC and triangle DBE are similar. That's what it says. What is the value of DA? Okay, so we want to know the value of DA. Before I finish this one, let me go back up real quick. We forgot something. So I can't put all the writing back up, but we had our proportion set up. Okay, and you were to cross multiply and divide. Okay, this x is not going to be this x value. Okay, to find this x value, you have to take whatever you get here whatever you get for this x value. So after you solve your proportion, you're going to get an x value. Whatever x value you get, you're going to put in here and you're going to subtract 8. And that is going to give you this x value. Okay? Because remember, this blue x value is going to be the length from B for BC. Okay? And this x wants to know the value for BE. Okay? So once you solve this, you multiply those two. So 6 times x is 6x. 9 times 8, 72. Once you finish solving this, that x value is going to go here. And then you're going to subtract 8, which is the length of EC, to find the length of BE. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Sorry. All right. Now going back to number 3. So triangle ABC is similar to triangle DBE. So what is the value of DA? So we want the value of DA. Again, we just want this value here. Okay. So I'm going to start by redrawing my triangles. So that's my larger triangle. That's my smaller triangle. So my larger triangle is DBE. So DBE. And my smaller triangle is ABC. Okay. And I need to find x here. So that means I have to use this side of the triangle. So line AB for my smaller triangle, because this is my smaller triangle. And then we have our larger triangle. Okay. So side AB for my smaller triangle is 3 feet. And then do I know my measurement for DB? No, I know that it is 3 feet from here to here, but I don't know the whole side. So for there, I'm not going to use an X because I think that might have been a little confusing on the previous one. I'm going to use the letter M. I'm using M for Miller, just so we know we can use a different letter. Okay. So now I need to find another measurement that I can use. So my big triangle has the only other measurement my big triangle has is right here is the hypotenuse, the slanted one, the slanted side. So that's the one I have to use. So for that one, it is 20. Then for my smaller triangle, the measurement for the corresponding side is 5. That's the measurement for the slanted side. So now that I have my two sides labeled, I'm going to match my corresponding sides. So we said this is the hypotenuse or the slanted side across from the 90-degree angle or the right angle. So then of course 5 is going to be my corresponding side for that one. Okay. And then my corresponding side for DB would be AB. Okay. Because that is my straight vertical side on my triangle. So now I can set up my proportion. Okay. So I'm going to start and set them up within the same triangle. So this one I'm actually going to set up by corresponding sides. So I'm going to compare them based on sides. Okay. So my corresponding side for 20 is 5. So I'm going to put those over each other. So you see, I'm comparing them between corresponding sides. So now on the other side of my proportion, I'm going to have m and 3. Okay? M corresponds with my 20 because they are both on the larger triangle. So m is going to go on top with the 20. 3 corresponds with my smaller triangle because they're on the smaller triangle together, or they're my two measurements for my smaller triangle. So that one's going to go on the bottom with the 5. So now you are going to cross multiply and solve the proportion. Once you solve this, remember we want to know the value of x. We want to know measurement dA, which is here. Okay? So once you solve this proportion, you're going to get an answer that says m equals whatever. So you're going to take m minus 3 because you want to know how much x is, and the measure this whole thing right here is m, right? And you want to know how much x is. So you're going to subtract 3 from that, and it will give you the value for x. It will give you your answer. Okay? All right, moving on to the next one. Remember, if you still need time, you pause it, right? Pause after each question. So number 4 says Jamal is making a scale drawing of his property. The drawing is 15 inches long and 12 inches wide. How long and wide is a property if 1 inch equals 5 feet? Okay, so this is giving us this is like a scale drawing. Okay, the two previous ones were uh, similar figures. This is scale drawing. So it says how long and wide is a property if 1 inch is equal to 5 inches. So we have 1 inch is equal to 5 inches. So that's gonna be our scale. We have 1 inch is equal to, sorry, not 5 inches, 5 feet. Let's go with that. Okay. So we're gonna use big H for this. So let me go ahead and draw my big H. And we're gonna have inches to feet. And we have our scale here, which we said is 1 inch to 5 feet. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug that into my big H. So we have 1 inch equals 5 feet. We want to know how long and how wide the property is. Okay, so that means we have to do two separate proportions to find the two separate answers. So I'm going to start with how long, because that's the first measurement they give me. So this proportion, let me use a different color, is going to be for the length, okay, or how long. So the problem tells me that the property is 15 inches long. So I need the 15 for this one. Okay. Okay. So if it's 15 inches long, is that going to go on top or bottom? Yeah, that's going to go on top. Ooh, let me use a different color because yellow is not working on there very well. Okay. So it's going to go on top with inches. Then you are solving for x. Okay? And that's going to tell you how long the property is. But you need to set up a proportion for your width. So you're going to set up another big H, and it's going to be similar. You're going to have inches over feet, 1 over 5, because 1 inch equals 5 feet. And you're going to have X. The only thing is because we're talking about width, you're going to use 12 inches wide for this proportion. So your 12, go here. All right. So finish solving that. Remember, it's just the same. It's just like a proportion. You're gonna cross multiply and divide if you want to see it as a proportion. Okay, and this one would be 15 over x equals 1 over 5. So it's the same thing. Okay. All right, pause your video, finish solving that out, and that is the last one for similar figures and scale drawings. Now you're going to move on to your next topic.